So in today's lab, we are going to start our fourth experiment. That is calibration of rectangular notch. But we are going to study about the notches, types of notches. And in the experiment, we are going to determine the coefficient of discharge of a notch which is of shape triangular shape. Okay, so for triangular shape notch, we are going to calibrate and we are going to find the coefficient of discharge for the triangular notch. So before starting the experiment, first let us go and take some introduction about your notches. What is a notch and what is the purpose of the notch and where we are going to use this notch, and these all things first we'll learn first before starting the experiment. Then we'll go for the experiment. Okay, so I will share the slides of the introduction first. Right. So in today's topic, we are going to study about notches actually. But in experiment, we have only notch, but we are going to study both together, that is notches and wear. So actually, these are mainly used for civil engineers. So for determining the discharges in the canals or dams, they are using these notches and waves. Okay, so first we'll see about notch. What is a notch? N-O-T-C-H is a notch spelling, right? So notch is a device used for measuring the rate of flow of a liquid through a small channel or a tank. So we have seen many devices for measuring the rate of flow. For first experiment, second experiment, we have seen venturimeter and orifice meter. Those are also used for finding the coefficient of discharge in case of pipes. In case of small size pipes, we have seen. But notches are the devices which are used for finding the rate of flow or discharge in canals or channels. Nothing but there we have seen in the venturimeter and orifice meter, we have seen that where the closed pipes will be there. So in closed pipes only we have found out the area of discharge. But while coming to notches, for example, if you see the canals, it will be open at the top surface. Nothing but we have opening surface, right? So there, how you are going to find the discharge? So in that cases, we are going to find the discharge by using the notch as well as wear. Okay, so notch is a device used for measuring the rate of flow of a liquid through a small channel or a tank. Right, it may be defined as an opening in the side of the tank. Right, if you have a big size of tank, which will be open at the top side, and in the side we will make a small hole, or we'll make a channel there with the different shapes, such that the liquid surface in the tank or channel is below the top edge of the opening. Right. So first we'll see next. This is a notch we have seen. Next, what is a wear is nothing but similar. Almost the concept will be same in case of notch and wear, but only difference will be notch will be created by using a metal plate. Wear is nothing but it is created by a concrete thing, right? Concrete material. Right? A wear is a concrete or a masonry structure placed in an open channel over which the flow occurs. It is generally in the form of a vertical wall with a sharp edge at the top, running all the way over across the open channel. Right? If you see some small canal, when we construct a rectangular concrete wall, above that the water will flow. Above the wall, the water will flow. That is called as wear. The concrete wall which you are creating is called as wear. Instead of a concrete wall, if you place a metal plate with the different shapes of the metal plate, that is called as your notch. Right? So the notch is of smaller in size, while the wear will be bigger in size. So notch can be used in very small areas. That's why it will be of smaller sizes. The notch is generally made up of metallic plate, while the wear is made of concrete or masonry structure. So I'll show the image actually. So if you see here, this is a diagram image which is taken from our lab. So there will be a tank which is of U shape, but there will be a channel like a canal. If you see examples, it will be having a U-shaped tank-like structure with opening at the top surface, and we'll place a plate like this. This is the V-shaped notch, nothing but this is a triangular notch. This is called as notch. This is made up of metallic plate, right? So same thing here. If you keep a concrete slab or concrete wall here, that is called as wear. And here two things which we have to know is the names of this. So if you see here, this is a V notch, and there will be point here, V point. So below this V also, backside of that, we'll have water there. So the height, this height is called as crust. Nothing but this point where we are seeing here. If you see here side view, this is this one. This point is this point. So that is called as crust, C-R-E-S-T, crust. And the water will flow above this V notch, and you can see a transparent like thing. Water will be seen like a transparent plate here. That is called as nappe, N-A-P-P, or it is also called as vein. These are the words used for in this. So nappe or vein The sheet of water flowing through a notch or over a weir is called as nape or vein. Crust, or it is also called as sill level, SILL, sill level. In experiment, we use the word sill level always. So what is sill level? We need to know first. So crust or sill is nothing but the bottom edge of the notch or a top of a weir over which the water flows. Nothing but where the water starts flowing, the point where the water starts flowing on the notch, that point is called as your sill point or crust. This is very important. Remember, this point is called as sill, SILL, or crust, CREST. Right? So this is a side view of that. So this is the position mass of the water will be there, and here this is the shapes, different shapes will be there. It is of V shape, nothing but triangular notch. This is called as triangular notch. So in our lab experiment today, we are going to see about your triangular notch only today. Right? We are going to find only the quotient of discharge if you are using a triangular notch. Okay. So if you have any doubt in these 3 slides, you can ask there. Otherwise, we'll go for the next how it is classified. Classification of notches and weir. So there are several types of notches actually, and they are again classified depending upon the shape, depending upon the effect of nap, or that is, you know, the transparent sheet is called nap, I always say. So depending upon that, they are classified. Notches are classified according to the shape of the opening. So if it is rectangular shape opening, it is called as a rectangular notch. If it is of triangular shape opening, for example, if I have shown here, this is the triangular shape notch. It is called as triangular notch. Opening is of triangle shape. Suppose here, if it is we have a rectangular opening, the plate for which a rectangular opening is there, that type of notch is called as your rectangular notch. And if we have a shape of trapezoid, the gap which is seen there, if it is a trapezoidal shape, that is called as your trapezoidal notch. Similarly, stepped notch, nothing but it will be like our steps. Nothing but 2 rectangular shapes will be there, which will be like this. I will show you. Something like this. Opening will be something like this. If you have V notch, the opening will be like V. This will be the notch position. This is V notch. If it is a rectangular notch, it will be like this. Gap will be like this, rectangle. If it is a stepped one, it will be like this. Okay, this is called your stepped notch. Trapezoidal means trapezoidal shape will be there. Okay. Next, according to the nape, notch with end contraction, nothing but at the end, we will be having some sharp edges. Depending upon the sharp edge of the notch, the nape shape will be changed. Without the end contraction or suppressed notch. These are the types of notches. And in our experiment today, we are going to learn only about your triangular notch. For civil department, actually in the syllabus also, they will be having these notches and problems on the notches. But for our mechanical, we don't have the, in our syllabus, we don't have notch topic. But in the lab experiment, they said either you can take any one notch, it may be triangular notch or rectangular notch. So in our lab, we have a setup of triangular notch only. So we are going to do the experiment on this triangular notch only today, right? So this is about your notch classification, and where are also classified according to the shape of the opening, right? So only first I said what is the main difference between weir and your notch is weir will be of bigger sizes, nothing but it will be used in big size opening channels, which will be also constructed by using the concrete material, weirs, right? So depending upon the shape of the weir, again we have 3 types, that is rectangular weir, triangular weir, and trapezoidal weir. And according to the shape of the crust, sharp crusted weir, broad crusted weir, narrow crusted weir, or ogee shaped weir. These are according to the shape of the crust. Next, according to the effect of sides, weir with end contraction and weir without end contraction. These are the types of weirs which are available according to the shape of the crust, according to the effect of sides, and according to the shape of the opening. Right. So if you see here, now we are going to see the coefficient of discharge formula for finding for rectangular notch or the rectangular weir. Right. So if you see here, this is a cross-sectional view we are seeing from the side. So this is the rectangular plate will be here, which we are unable to see. Right. So backside of that, actually at a height of the plate, we'll have the rectangular hole. So this is the water flowing above your notch. So this point where the water starts to flow, that is called as your crust or sill. While seeing the experiment, you can understand, just understand here. And this already I have said, the water which looks like a transparent plate is called as your nap here. Okay, so this is your rectangular notch. And same concept, if it is made up of concrete, this material, if it is made of concrete, it is called as rectangular wear. Right? So the expressions, discharge expressions can be calculated. So discharge over rectangular notch or wear. So expression for discharge over rectangular notch or wear is the same. Only the material is changing, but the expressions will be same. For calculation part, the expressions will be same. Okay. So what we are doing here, we are considering a rectangular notch or wear provided in a channel carrying water as shown in the figure. Next we will show the figure. Let h equal to head of water over the crest. Nothing but after above the crest, how much head level is there? That is denoted by h. And L is the length of the notch or wear. For finding the discharge of water flowing over the wear or notch, we are going to consider a small elementary horizontal strip of water of thickness dh and length L at the depth of h from the free surface of water. Actually, this is required for civil department in the calculation part also. They are going to derive the equation fully for the discharge, for finding discharge over a rectangular notch. Okay. So this will be the final equation for finding discharge. Q equal to 2 by 3 into coefficient of discharge into length into under root of 2g. This h is not in the root. It is h power 3 by 2. Okay. This is for rectangular notch actually. Q equal to 2 by 3 into CD into L into under root of 2g. H will be coming out, h not in root, h power 3 by 2. So this is the expression for calculating the discharge in the rectangular notch. Okay, so now if you see for a triangular notch, so this is the shape, triangle shape groove will be there, that is triangular notch. This will be placed, this plate will be placed in the channel where we are going to find the discharge. Okay, so now the same thing we are using, we are just taking a small element and the expression will be calculated. Okay. So these are the things, again, same concept. They will consider a small horizontal strip for thickness of dh at the depth of h. And finally, you'll get the expression for the discharge in the triangular notch as this formula. So Q equal to 8 by 15. So today, the experiment which you are doing is triangular notch. So we need to know this formula for calculating the discharge Q value. So Q equal to 8 by 15 into coefficient of discharge tan theta by 2. So here theta denotes the angle for this one, interior angle for this triangular shape. So if you see this is theta, and this theta also varies for different types of triangular notches. It may be 90, 60, anything. Okay. So final expression for discharge is 8 by 15 into coefficient of discharge. The CD is nothing but coefficient of discharge. Okay, CD tan theta by 2 into under root of 2g. Root is only for 2g here again into h power 5 by 2. For right angle V naught, nothing but if the angle is 90 degrees, here tan 45 will be coming, so it becomes 1. So we'll get an expression in terms of like this 1.417 into h power 5 by 2. Okay, so just remember we need to know this one for our experiment today. Next, we are going to see the advantages of triangular notch over the wear. So triangular notch or wear is preferred to a rectangular wear or notch due to following reasons. So instead of taking rectangular notch, mostly we'll use your triangular notch because the expression for discharge for a right angle notch or wear is very simple. If it is right angle, it is very simple. See here, only this one. We need only this one for calculating the discharge. Only the H value we need. How much water is flowing above the crest of the that notch, V notch. Then you can find Q value very easily if it is a right angle V notch. For measuring low discharge, a triangular notch gives more accurate results than a rectangular notch. So if the discharge is nothing but if the small size discharges are, if small discharges are there, so V notch will create accurate, will give you your accurate results than the rectangular notch. In case of triangular notch, only one reading, that is H only we required. We required only how much height of water, nothing but above the crest. What is the height of water flowing above that notch is required for calculating the discharge. So that's why it is very easy. And if you see here, this is the trapezoidal notch. The shape of the groove will be trapezoidal shape like this. So same thing here also, we'll find the discharge. So this is the equation for finding the discharge if it is a trapezoidal notch. So see the equation is very big. So it is very easy for calculation of triangular notch only, because all these notches will give again the same thing, that is discharge. So which gives discharge value. So which will be easy for us will be our triangular notch. If you use a triangular notch, we can calculate the discharge very easily. Right. So these are the effect on discharge over notch or wear due to error in the measurement of head. Right. So the only thing which we need is this head. If you are making any error in this, then automatically the discharge will be having more errors. So a small error in the measurement of head will affect the discharge considerably. Because if you see, if you take, actually it is 5 by 2 means more than square. If it is h square only, 2 means 4 will be coming. If you take a small error there, it is more than the square value will create more value, more difference. Since it is more than the square value, automatically it will create more error value if you are taking h value not accurately. So definitely we should need to take the h value accurately to get the discharge as accurately as possible. Okay. So see here, equation, there is an equation which shows if 1% error, if you're taking in h value, it will produce 1.5% error in your discharge calculation. Okay, just 50% error will be created if you're taking a 1% error in your height head value. Right, that is in case of your rectangular notch. Similarly, if you're taking in your triangular notch, if 1% error you are taking in the calculation of head value, the error produced in your discharge will be 2.5% error will be produced in your discharge for your triangular notch. Right, so that's why while measuring the head value above the crust, we need to be very careful to find the h value so that we won't get any errors in the discharge also. Right, so this is about something, some small introduction about our notch. Before starting our experiment today, I have given small introduction about your notches. Right, so now I will share you the slides for your experiment. Just please keep one observation notes with you, because anyway we are not forcing you to write your records, because most of them have not got their records present. Okay, please take an observation notes, and we are going to take only what I have written in the slides. You can write down that in your observation notes, tabular column and Excel. Right. Yes. Is it audible? Whether my voice is clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Can you see the slides now? Experiment 4.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So our experiment name is nothing but we are going to find the coefficient of discharge, that is CD. We are going to find. So the experiment name is calibration of triangular notch, or it is also called as V notch, because the shape of the triangle notch is like a V shape, V notch. Okay, so first write down your aim of the experiment. So aim of the experiment is to determine the coefficient of discharge of a triangular notch. To determine the coefficient of discharge of a triangular notch. Right. Next, I will show the experimental video. So okay, so this is the experimental setup, and this one you can see if there is a U-shaped plates. Arrangement of plate is like a U shape, nothing like, but it is just like a channel. A channel, nothing but a canal. If you see, it will be like this. Nothing but a small shaped canals. If you see, will have a channel section like this, and this there will be pump connected to our reservoir. For our experimental setup, we are going to send this water first into this tank. From there, it will pass through the perforated hole plates are there. This is used for making the water flow steady. Nothing but there should not be any waves formed inside this channel. So for that purpose, we are using 2 metal plates with holes for making the water as steady flow. Right. So now I will start the experimental video. Just to see the video and I will explain it. You can see it, how it will work. Okay, so now you can see. So see here, this is a V notch plate which is fixed to this channel. Assume that this is a small lake or small channel. So what we need to find? We need to find the discharge or coefficient of discharge for this channel. So we are going to place a V notch like this, right? So if the size of the channel is small, you can use your notch. If the size of the channel is nothing but this backside thing which you can see, that is called as your channel. If the size of the channel is very huge, we cannot use any metal plate there. So there we'll construct weir, W-E-I-R, weirs will be constructed, which may be again same. It may be a triangular shape like this. And now if you see, there is some height below this V-shaped corner. This point is called as crust. So backside of this V notch, always the water should be there. Here, up to here, the water will be filled. After filling the crust level, then only the water starts flow away from the notch. Yes, are you able to understand what I'm telling? Right, if you see here, yeah. So backside, after filling this crust, below the crust, the water will be filled first, then only it will pass through this point, crust point, right? So first what we'll call this point is called as your sill level. The water will be flowing. When the water starts flowing, the water will be constant up here, nothing but there won't be any flow above your notch. So that level of water backside or below this crust level is called as your sill level. S-I-L-L, sill level. Okay, so that level is called sill level. Now we'll start the video. So this is our notch, which is placed here, V notch. And this is your gauge pointer for finding the height of the water. This is the pointer. There will be arrangement for movement of the scale here. Right, when we start the pump, what happens? The water will flow through the pipe and it will first come here. It will be filled here. And these plates are placed here because the water, when it is coming from the pump, it will create some waves to this water. But when we are calculating these H readings, it should not have any waves, anything, but it should be constant. It should be in this steady flow. It should not move. It should just see like a straight path. Okay. So now see. So see now, the water already started filling in this tank and up to the sill level. Now see here, there is no flow above, there is no flow over this sill point.
Sorry, madam.
Okay, so just a slight water when it starts coming, nothing but until this water is off here. Now already water is started, but the first thing what we have to do is, before the water starts coming like this, very minute, very small amount of water, just it starts to flow, we need to regulate the wall of the pump there so that the water just comes and fill the up to sill level. And now what we need to do, we need to take the value of that H water above the sill level. So this pointer will give the reading of the H value first, initial value of sill level, nothing but before the water just starts to flow over this notch, we need to note down the scale reading by making this pointer just to touch the top layer of water. It should not be immersed. It should just touch like a feather touch. It should be just touching the top layer of the water before the water starts flowing over the notch, right? So that will be our first reading in our table. I'll show you the table of the column once. This is called sill level reading, H1, right? So first thing we'll take is always the sill level is constant, because if you see for the notch, always the sill is constant. The notch is a constant one. It won't move anywhere. So sill level for all the 5 readings will be common. It is constant for the sill levels. The only thing will change is when we regulate the wall of the pump, the water level above the sill will increase, because as the water flow from the pump continuously increases, because we are going to regulate the wall for 5 readings. So for the first reading, the water above the crust will be assumed that it is 1 centimeter rise for the first flow rate. Next, again, if you are going to increase the flow rate water value here, again, what happened? The water height will be increased, and you may get the difference of water above the crust, above the sill level will be 2 centimeters. So depending upon the regulation of the wall, you will get the height of the water over the notch. So that will be our second tabular reading values here. So these values are also calculated by using again the same pointer which is there in here. For how we calculate the sill level water, the water after increasing the water level also, we are just regulating the scale there, and the pointer again touches the top surface for finding the H2 values. Okay, so now see, so this is the thing. See here, now no water is flowing here, so just water is filled and it just starts to flow. So now what we have to do, we have to go to the scale there and we have to note down the reading of H1 by using that pointer scale there, right? So this H1 is constant for all the readings now. Now after this, what we will do, now we will increase the water flow from the pump, right? So this is the reading, top side you can take here, not here, we will be taking at the top side here. So around 17 or something is there. Now regulate the wall again. So water starts flowing now. Since the water flow is increased here, what happens? The water again starts coming from here, and these are maintained for making it a study. And now we can see the pointer is immersed in the water because of the increase in the water level. So now you can see there will be more water coming from here. Check here, check at this point. See here, water level is increased. Yes, students, are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Okay, so we need to stop for some time such that this pointer, this water again becomes steady. So we need to rotate the knob there so that this pointer will move up. So this will be our first reading. After increasing the rate, water flow rate, now move this pointer to the top of the water level. So it should just be touching the top level. No, nothing should be immersed there. So it will take some time because the water should become constant. It will take some time there for making it as constant flow rate. Right now you can see it is again immersed a little bit. Sorry, one second. Until you see that the pointer touching only top surface, we need to wait there because water level slowly it will increase. Right. So now for the first reading, you see the tabular column. So what we'll take? First we'll take the seal level values. H1 is constant toward the 5 readings. And now after increasing the flow rate by the pump, you need to calculate this H2. Nothing but again we will use the mop that scale reading. H2 will take here. Right. So next what we'll do after the water coming from the notch, above the notch will be collected in the collecting tank. And there we are going to take again 10 centimeters rise, and the time taken for the 10 centimeters rise in the collecting tank should be calculated for finding the discharge value. Okay. So that's why now we are moved to our collecting tank. Okay, now we can see the water here like a transplant glass like thing. So that is called as your NAP, NAPP. And this water will be collected in the collecting tank, which is placed below this part. Here in this way, we need to move the pointer a little bit top side. We are moving here. Yes. So this is a collecting tank. So first what we are doing, we are emptying the tank for finding the time taken for the 10 centimeters rise. Okay. So after emptying the tank, we should close the wall. Then again, we have to start the time taken for the 10 centimeters rise. You can start at this point, water level from this point. For 10 centimeters rise, what is the time taken? We need to calculate by using the stopwatch. Okay. So this collecting tank is next to your notch. After the notch, there is a small hole to the plate there. So from that plate, the water will be collected to this, the collecting tank. Now see the water level is increasing in this tank. So we need to calculate the time taken there. So this is the time taken for only 5 centimeters rise. So for double, if you take 10 centimeters rise, the time will be doubled. So that we need to calculate. Okay, so there is a continuous part, continuation part for this. Okay. So this is a continuation part video. So see here, the time we have to calculate for 10 centimeters rise. Next reading we are calculating. So again, we need to regulate the pump here. You can see there. Once again, you see towards this left side, you can see regulated the wall there. Now again, the water level will be a little bit increased here. See here. You can see more water coming over the notch. And now we can see the pointer is again immersed here because the water level increased there. So just move the pointer above that to get the third reading of H2. Then we need to calculate count. See here, there is a hole here after the notch. Pointer is immersed here again. So we need to lift the pointer. Then note down the reading. Either you can take all the readings at the top or all the readings at the bottom because we want only the difference of head there. Okay, remember that point. At the top or at the bottom, any one you can take. See, a pointer is moved up now. And we need to wait. Immediately we cannot take the values there. Again, sometimes the water level may increase. So we need to wait and see whether it is continuously touching the surface only or it is immersed. See properly. Again, the water is increasing. So you can see the pointer is again immersed there a little bit. So again, we need to move the scale upside. After that, when you are seeing that when you are knowing that it is constant, though no way the water is coming above the pointer, at that time we should go for the collecting tank, time taken for the 10 centimeters rise. So first empty the tank, then close the wall of the collecting tank, then take the 10 centimeters rise of water. Take the 10 centimeters rise, time taken for the 10 centimeters rise of water. Okay. So in this way, we are going to take the readings from our experimental video, sorry, experimental setup. Okay. So first, please everybody copy this tabular column in your observation notes. Just hold on a second. Yes, after copying the tabular column, just inform me. We'll start the calculation part. Yes, we have only 1 minute time for this session to expire. Please join immediately. After that, we'll take the observations required for the calculation part. Okay, please join immediately.